What up, T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Reasonable Doubt, Season 3, Episode 6 review. So the episode opens up with Azie awaking from a nightmare where Wendy is being tied to a chair by Monica. But when Monica speaks, it's his voice coming through her mouth. So he wakes up from the nightmare, goes into the bathroom to start getting ready for court, and lo and behold, guess who's there with him? Monica. They are fully back involved with each other, and you can tell that he's really conflicted by what's going on in his life and the fact that he's allowed her back in such a way. So then Eddie is at a AA meeting, and he's gotten his sobriety chip, and Jax is there to support him. Now the sponsor asks Jax for a photograph because he recognized her. And after they take this photograph together, Jax leaves because she got to get back to work. But the sponsor tells Eddie that he needs to tell Jax the truth because the longer he waits, the harder it's going to be. So I'm looking like, what you got to tell her, sir? I'm hoping and praying that he's not back on some fuck shit and trying to use her. I don't know what the hell is going on. Is he even her real father? Like, what is happening? Like, I do not know. So Jax tells Azie that she wants to put Monica on the stand, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want his, secret to be exposed. He doesn't want that, out there to the public. It can ruin his career. He doesn't want his family to find out. And Bill asks Monica to talk not Monica. Bill asks Jax to talk one-on-one alone. And he tells her that he agrees with Azie that Monica should not take the stand because she's a wild card and they don't know what she'd get on the stand to say. But Jax disagrees because she feels like he needs to reveal this because they need an alibi to show that he was not alone that night, that somebody can have a witness to where he was at. But Bill is standing there after they talk to one another, and he looking like, I think Jax is wrong. But this is Jax's show. She's lead chair. She can really honestly do what she wants. But something in my spirit is telling me that Bill and Azie might be right about this. But we'll get into my reasons why later. So at the office, the partners tell Bill that the firm is being acquired and that Jax isn't a good fit because basically can't nobody tell her what to do. So Bill sits there for a brief second and then he says, you know what, y'all might be right because she was saying the other day that she wanted to put Monica on the stand and I told her that would not be a good idea, but she didn't listen to me. And so the partners is like, okay, good looking out. Thanks for telling us. And this once again makes them feel like Jax is hard-headed. It's her way or the highway. She doesn't take criticism. She doesn't take other people's suggestions or anything. Like, they're painting her out to be hard to work with. And Bill is adding to that. And so the partners was like, all right, we're going to bring this up at the next meeting, but we're going to make sure that she doesn't know that you're the one that came to us about this. So they leave out the room and he has this expression on his face like he regrets what he did as soon as he did it. And so now I'm back feeling like, Bill, do we need to, Bill? Because why would you do that to her? Why would you do that? Whether or not you right or wrong, like, why are you steady throwing her underneath the bus? Like, just when I was starting to like you, here you go on some shit again. So now I don't know, should we like you or should we not? But I feel like things are going to go one or two ways with Bill, but I'm going to reveal that later on. So Jack shows Lewis the pic that she took with Eddie and his sponsor and basically says that she wonders, is he really on the right track finally this time? Like, she's really feeling good about things, right? Things in her life are finally going smoothly for once. And so she leaves out the room and Lewis pulls out his phone and puts two and two together that the guy that is Eddie's sponsor is the same guy that he saw Eddie walking into that little rinky-dink apartment complex with, but he was carrying a pow pow. So he wondering like, what is going on? why would his sponsor be carrying a piece with him? Could it been the neighborhood they was in? But everything now got an even bigger question mark. So back at the job, the partners asked Jax about her client listing, and she says that she's gonna try to get Monica on the stand, and they give her pushback on this. They like, I don't know if that's the right decision or not. And she looking at them like, first of all, it's kind of odd that they even asking me this question, and then they trying to tell me who I should and shouldn't put on the stand. Like, since when we don't let me do what I do? Because, like, I'm the one that's keeping the lights on up in this bitch. Like, So Jax immediately, you could tell, had a thought in her head. Like, I know this little motherfucker did not. I know he did not. But she kept it cute and on mute while they was in the office with everybody. So Bill, back in his office, gets Kendra to go to dinner with him, but she needed for it to be an early dinner. So he was like, fine, I'll make sure that I change the reservations or whatever. It's fine. Like, I got you. As long as I can see you, I got you. So he get off the phone. He's super excited. But Jax come into his office and confront him and ask him, is he talking to the partners about her? And he was like, of course not. I would never do anything like that. Like, I understand you're stressed. You under a lot of pressure. We know we all get paranoid at time. Like, he playing on her head top. So she looking like, okay. But she leave out, but you could tell she got this thought in her head. Like, I don't know if I can trust this howdy doody looking motherfucker. I don't know. I don't know, Bernie. But it was also given, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to trust your word for now, but I got my eye on you. And I was like, please have your eye on him, ma'am. So in therapy, Jax and Lewis talk about how they're going to get their families together for the first time. And her father never got the opportunity to meet his family when they got married because, of course, he wasn't around. And Jax talks about how Lewis' family is like the Huxtables compared to hers. And Lewis says that basically he wanted it just to be his family and her and him for dinner. He didn't want Mama Lou and Eddie to be there. He just wanted it to be them. And we all know he has his reasons for wanting it that way because he does not fully trust Eddie and doesn't want Eddie further ingrained into their existence. But of course he cannot tell Jax that because Jax is on a high right now. Like, she is so happy with the way things are going in her life. Daniel and his new haircut. Baby, Daniel got him some cootie cat and was like, I need a makeover. So he in the car and he's surveilling Kristen, who we see meeting up with this guy at this restaurant to go and have lunch. And Daniel is taking photographs of this. And he does not trust Kristen. He got his eye on Kristen. And I got my eye on her too, because something is up with sister girl. I don't know what, but something ain't right in the sauce. So Bill and Kendra have this romantic dinner at this high price, snooty Michelin star restaurant. He done pulled out all the stops for her. He asking her about her job, and she like, you don't never ask me about my job. Like, boy, bye. But, you know, he's being hella romantic and everything. And then when he takes her back to the crib to drop her off, he tried to come in the house to get a little nookie. The nookie. Yeah. And she almost bit. She was like, can't do it. She was like, I can't do this no more. And he was like, can't do what? She was like, this. I can't do this no more. We don't need to be together. And he was like, what? Like, like, I swear to God, like, things are going to change. And she was like, no, it's not. Because even though this date was wonderful, I already know if we get back together, it's going to be few and far between where we'll have moments like this because you're going to put your job before me and the kids again. And I'm not going through that. But he promised her up and down when he made partner that'll allow him the time to be able to be more of a family man and a husband. And she was like, I can't. Like, I've already contacted a divorce lawyer. And he like, you say what now? And so she was like, I'm sorry. And she go in the house. Baby, he responded better than I would have, because I've been like, bitch, you could have said that before I spent all this goddamn money on this expensive ass food and shit. The fuck is wrong with you? Girl, I could have been at work. Wasting my motherfucking time. This bullshit. But I low-key feel Kendra, Because she gave him the opportunity, obviously, in the past, and he didn't do right. And it's like too little, too late. And then I also feel like that was his karma for going against Jax, because black women got to stick together. She felt it in her spirit that this white man wasn't right. So Monica storms over to Ozzie's house to confront him about being subpoenaed by Jax to take the stand. And he was like, look, girl, it's my birthday. I ain't trying to deal with this, okay? And he then goes on to question, did she unalive Wendy? And she was like, I know you lying. No, did you do it? Because I found a bloody shirt in your room that I got rid of for you. And he was like, wait a minute, hold up. What you doing snooping around my room in the first place? Like, you lost your motherfucking mind? So they both accusing each other of unaliving Wendy and denying it. And he get up in her face. And I'm like, is he about to hit her? Like, what's going on? Because you know he cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But then the doorbell rings and it's his partners coming over to celebrate his birthday. And did y'all peep that one of his partners was none other than Cordell from Love Island USA season, was it 6? I was like, come on, Cordell, we see you in your acting bag. So his friends is like, look, we trying to pop bottles. We trying to see some big booty bitches. And so Monica was like, let me get the fuck on up out of here. And Azie run and stop her. He was like, no, Monica, you know, can you get us some strippers or whatever? We need you to stay because you know how you be on it. You said you handled everything. We need you here to make sure that don't get out of hand. Don't nobody be taking photos. Everybody sign NDAs. We get security. And so his friends is like, this is awkward. Because they know that they been fooling around. You can tell that they know what's going on. And that she feeling some type of way. And so she looking like, oh, I can't stand this nigga. But I love him at the same time. So, the families have gathered together for dinner, sans the kids. And Louis' mama asked Eddie, has he met the grandkids? And he was like, what you mean have I met my grandkids? I am their granddaddy. And I'm looking like, now, wait a minute, okay? Don't act like you wasn't a whole crackhead out here in these streets. How was she supposed to know that you'd have met them? We all know that y'all relationship been strained and that Jax didn't want you around them kids. Like, calm down, Tutti Frutti. So Louis looking like, shit, this is why the fuck I ain't want this nigga here. So things is hella awkward. There's tension in the air, right? And Louis' mama end up spilling the news that they splitting. She moving to Florida. She got her an apartment. He gonna be down the street, and that they selling the childhood home. Louis is like, wait a minute. First of all, huh? Like, what nobody gonna tell me? Like, what is going on? And so his parents is like, excuse you, last time we checked, we was your parents. We've been adults way before you was even thought of. We ain't gotta consult you about what we decide to do. Like, we ain't even been fucking sleeping with each other for years. Like, I ain't cracked your mama back since 1975, nigga. Like, it's over. So Eddie decides to jump in, and Jackson's like, Daddy, no. He was like, shut up, girl, I got this. So Eddie was like, how y'all gonna leave Philly? Like, you can't leave Philly. Philly got the Delphonics. And so the daddy was like, what you know about Delphonics? He was like, man, I opened up for the Delphonics in Philly back in 77. And then he talked about the Delphonics and how they got high together. And the mama and the daddy was like, oh my God, I think we went to that concert. And everybody is just soaking up the moment. And they falling in love with Eddie and his stories and everything. Everybody laughing and having a good time. And Jax looks over at Louis, who's sitting there like, this nigga, really? He done mesmerized my folks now. Like, he got everybody underneath his thumb. Like, this charming ass nigga. So at this point, he just like, shit, if you can't beat him, join him. Shit, fuck it. So back at the crib, Monica is watching Azie kiss on this stripper while sitting on the couch. And so he looking at her while he kissing on the stripper. And she looking at him like, this nigga just love to play in my face, but okay, it's cute. Okay, I see you. So then he decided to get up and take the stripper into the room. And she looking at him like, I know you motherfucking lying. And he looking at her like,
let us pray the pimp spray. Lord, please pray pray for the soul of this bitch and guide my pimp hand and make it strong, Lord, so that she might learn a hoe's place. Amen. Amen. Yeah.
Period. Stay in a whole place. So Azie and the stripper go in the room together and they smash and she riding him, and Monica freaky ass come in the room and she's standing by the door and he sees her through the floor length mirror. So she started playing with her cootie cat and he's watching her as she's doing that while old girl riding him. So he's aroused by all of this. Monica comes and then she licks her fingers and leave out the room. And I was like, you Popeyes finger licking good tasting ass, like, ew, you nasty. Ew. So as soon as she leaves out the room, Azie gets mad because I think he was having a guilty conscience of hating the fact that she has this control over him, that she can arouse him in such a way, right? And he thought that he was hurting her by schmexing the stripper, and in all actuality, she was like, you ain't bothering me. I'm gonna make sure my presence is known no matter what. So he get mad and he pushed the stripper up off of him and tell her to get out the room. He's screaming and yelling. I was like, calm down, Dennis the Menace. Get it together, you little psychopath. I can't stand him. Like, ugh. So Louis' brother tells him to give their parents and Eddie some grace. And Louis looking like, damn nigga, not you too. And at this point, he like, should I just go ahead and just let it go at this point? And for me, I'm like, yeah, just let it go. Things are going to play out how it's going to play out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's going on in the dark shall come to the light. You ain't even got to do nothing. Let God handle your scandal. So back in court, Kristen takes the stand. And the prosecution asks her, did she talk to Azie the night Wendy was unalived? And she was like, yeah, I sent him a text saying that, asking him, are you okay? She loves him no matter what, and that it wasn't his fault. But then she unsent the text. So the prosecution was like, why you unsending the text? And she was like, it was about our parents or whatever, and about him not wanting to work with them anymore. And so the prosecution kind of leave it like, sure. So Jax gets up and she questions Kristen and basically gives her the opportunity to expand more on the situation that night, whatever. And Kristen is like, I know my brother didn't do it or whatever. Only reason why I unsent the message is because I didn't want my parents to know that I knew what was going on. That was the reason why I unsent it. Now, I don't really know if I believe Kristen because I got a big question mark behind her. It's something going on with Miss Thing, okay? But after she takes the stand, she rushes out of the courtroom and she's all upset, and Daniel pulls her and gives her a hug. But lo and behold, he didn't know that Crystal saw them hugging, and Crystal was looking like, oh, really? This the girl you been telling me about. You fucking our client, Daniel. Have you lost your mind? So I can't wait to see if she gonna spill the beans to Jax or she gonna make Daniel tell Jax, because like, you tripping. So Jax calls Monica to her office to ask that she go on the stand, because at this point we got to do what's necessary to protect Azie. That's the spiel that she gives her. And Monica all high and mighty like, I've been doing it. I've been had his back. I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna ride for mine. I'm gonna stick beside. It's like she think that she doing something, right? So Jax and Sally are out having drinks, and Sally tells Jax that she served Chris with divorce papers, and Jax is like, finally, girl, thank God we're free at last. And then lo and behold, guess who at the same spot they're at? Bill. So Bill come over to the table to speak or whatever, and Sally looking like, hey, white chocolate, how you doing? Eggnog. So she tells him to join them. He was like, all right, bet. And Jack's looking like, oh my God, I don't want this nigga to come over here and sit with us. Like, cause like I said, low key, she still side-eyeing him. So next thing we know, Sally and Bill is flirting heavy, and Jax is just sitting there disgusted because, like, ew, gross. So Sally gets up to go to the bathroom, and when she leaves, Jax tells Bill he needs to skedaddle and go back home to his wife. And he was like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to do that. So he excuses himself and he leaves out of the little spot or whatever. Now, I don't know why he's not revealing the fact that he's separated from his wife and now going through a divorce. I don't know what that is about. Maybe because he don't want nobody to know his family life and be able to use it against him. But Sally comes back and was like, where'd Bill go? And she was like, home to his wife. And she was like, he married? Oh, shit. And she was like, yeah, leave that alone. So then Jax gets up to go to the bathroom and she leaves her phone behind. And Sally gets her phone and gets Bill's number and texts him. And so he gets the text message and smiles and get into the Uber to go home. And I was like, here we go. Here we the fuck go. Okay. So Jax calls Monica to the stand, y'all. This scene was so good. And Monica testifies that she's been everything to and for Azie since he was 13. Now, if I mean me and I'm in the courtroom and I'm listening to her say she been everything to him, I'm gonna be side-eyed like, what you mean you been everything for him since he was 13? So Jax has her read a text where that she sent to Azie saying that she was his first and will outlast all these bitches. And the courtroom was like, ooh, what you mean by that? So Monica says, I was his first sexual partner. And Jax was like, how old was he? And she was like, he pursued me. She was like, he pursued me. He wasn't a child. He was a star. And I was like, bitch, you are a weirdo. So everybody in the courtroom, including his mama, like, what? So Jax is once again like, how old was he? She was like 13. He was 13. So Ozzy's parents is in the courtroom freaking the fuck out. Ozzy is in his chair having a damn fit. He having a panic attack. So Jax then asks Monica, where was she the night Wendy was unalived? And Monica was like, I didn't have nothing to do with it. I ain't do nothing or whatever. After court, they in the parking garage and Monica stormed and run up on Ozzy and was like, why did you do that? Why you set me up or whatever? And he was like, at this point, I had to ask myself, why am I protecting you? Why am I protecting you? Because at the end of the day, you are a Chester and you are a criminal. So stay the fuck away from me. So Monica is screaming and calling his name and saying, you gonna regret this, that, and the third. And I was like, she need to be in a straitjacket immediately because she's crazy. And Jax is shaken up by the whole ordeal. And I'm low-key thinking in my head, like, is Jax going to regret this? Was Bill and the partners right by doing this? By her not putting Monica on the stand? Because I really feel like this going to come back to bite Jax in the ass. Monica is not going to go away quietly. She's not. She's not going to go away quietly. I don't know if she maybe had taken a picture of the bloody shirt or something, but that bloody shirt or something gonna come back to haunt them. Really honestly is. I don't know. And the way Jax was shaken up in that scene makes me feel like there's more to come. So Lewis leaves Daniel a text message saying that I'm done, a voicemail message saying that he's done looking into Eddie. He gonna let it go. So whoever he had checking into it, just leave it alone. And that he's gonna form his own opinion at this point. Daniel doesn't get the text message though, or the voicemail message, because he's at a bar and he's sitting right next to the dude that he saw Kristen have lunch with. And so he sparked up a conversation with dude. Dude introduces himself as Lincoln. And Daniel was like, oh my God, I know who you are. You're an award-winning journalist and author. Like, oh my God, I love your work. This, that, and the third. What you working on? So the Lincoln dude was like, I don't even know. I was working on this big story that just got squashed. He said that he had an insider close to him that was willing to tell the real story. What the guy was willing to say wasn't nearly as explosive as what he was willing to show. Who is the guy? Who is the guy? Is it dude that worked on Cousins that took the stand that was a schmug dealer? Was it his daddy? Because I still think that something might have been going on with the daddy and Wendy. Is it the doctor? Because something weird going on with that doctor too as well. I think them the three suspects of the man that got this tea on Wendy. But then remember he said that the story got squashed by somebody in that camp that reached out to his publication to make sure that it was ceased and desist. So it's one of the three. One of them three. So then we see Daniel back home at the crib laying in the bed, and he called Alex, who doesn't answer the phone. So he's waiting on Alex to call him back. But then Daniel gets a call from the dude that he had investigating Eddie. And he like, oh shit. So he called and leave Lewis a message like, hey, you might need to reach out to Eddie because what I just found out is crazy. Then we go to Lincoln back at his crib, and he pull out this book, and on the inside of the book, he got a hard drive. So he put the hard drive into his computer, and what pops up on the screen is a photograph of Wendy, which looks like she was straddling somebody who was taking the photograph of her, and she has like a belt like this, and she like sexy posing or whatever. So she was smashing somebody else. It was obvious that she was cheating on Azie with one of those three men. So then we go to Billy and Sally smashing, and I'm like, here we go again. And so this is what I think with the Bill situation. Either Bill gonna try to F Jax over and work with the partners to solidify himself becoming a partner and not tell her about this acquisition and how the partners are going against her and all of this stuff. And Jax is going to be able to get him back via Sally, or he gonna get in deep with Sally, catch feelings for Sally, and feel even worse about going against Jax. And like I said, come together with Jax to go against the partners. It's going to be one of the two. One of the two. And I hope it's the latter. I hope we don't have to go upside his head, okay? I really hope we don't. But his character is so weird, you can't really put your finger on his next move. And then lastly, at the end of the episode, we see Eddie come over to Jackson Lewis' crib, and Lewis invited him over because he needed to talk to him ASAP. And he was like, what's going on? And he was like, I know why you back. And he was like, oh my God, please don't tell Jax about Lou. And he was like, what? Wait a minute. What about Lou? So whatever tea that he got from Daniel didn't have nothing to do with his mama Lou breaking news, which is that she got cancer. So Jax comes home for work, and Lewis and Eddie there, and she looking like, since when y'all start kicking it without me? Like, what's going on? And then Eddie stands up and tells her that Mama Lou got cancer, and she was like, oh Lord. And then the episode go off. So we still got to find out what Daniel told Lewis about Eddie. It's still some shady going on there. But now we got to deal with the fact that Mama Lou got cancer. So that is one of the reasons why Eddie is around to be there for Mama Lou. We still got to find out. I think that it's either, what's his name? Alex, the dude that worked on the television show with Azie? The daddy or the doctor that was sleeping with Wendy. I think it was one of the three of them. I think that Monica is not going to go away quietly, and that putting her on the stand is going to come back to bite Jax in the arse, right? We got the Bill situation going against Jax. Is he going to stay an op, or is he going to become an ally? We don't know yet, and we still got to find out who unalived Wendy. Yeah, there's a lot going on Reasonable Doubt. We got, how many episodes we got left? What episode was this? This was episode 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 4 more episodes, y'all. 4 more episodes. What y'all think at this point? Who do you guys think is the unaliver? Let's talk about it. You know, I can't wait to hear y'all theories. What did y'all think about this week's episode? I give it an A. I thought this episode was so good. It kept me on my toes. A lot of unexpected stuff happened. The acting is great. The storyline is great. I'm fully invested. Y'all let me know once again what y'all thought about this week's episode down below in the comment section. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. I love you guys, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.